In a town shrouded by the oaks of yesteryears, quaintly named Ashton, there was a rickety Victorian manor standing at its heart. The house was a constant source of fascination, a relic from the past full of mystery and whispers. It was the home of Marianne, a beautiful woman known to the townsfolk as a puppeteer, and her son Billy. Marianne, despite her seemingly cheery exterior, grappled with a silent beast, bipolar disorder. Her world often teetered between extremes, mirrored in her delicate craft of puppeteering. One moment, she would create scenes of jubilant celebration with her puppets dancing and twirling. The next moment, they would mimic tragic tales of loss and heartbreak. Their manor was an eclectic array of life-size puppets, each with their distinct personality and wardrobe. The parlor was home to an old soldier, his uniform still crisp, while a ballerina danced in frozen elegance in the living room. These dolls, meticulously crafted, were silent spectators to the life of Marianne and her son Billy. Billy, a boy of 7 years, had grown accustomed to their wooden companions. Each night, under the gaze of the ballerina or the soldier, he would slip into his mother's room and curl up next to her. Marianne, half asleep, would pull him closer into a loving, protective embrace. This was their routine, a moment of comfort shared between mother and son. However, as days gave way to weeks, their nightly ritual took a disturbing turn. Marianne's initially gentle hold would slowly tighten, constricting Billy's small frame against her. He could feel the life being squeezed out of him as his breath hitched in his throat. His wide eyes would look at his mother, expecting her to be in deep sleep, but her closed eyes revealed nothing. It was during one such particularly cold night when Billy noticed a change. As Marianne's grip tightened, he heard a soft, stifled whimpering, and turning towards his mother, he saw her eyes wide open. Tears were streaming down her face, pooling in the hollow of her neck. His heart hammered in his chest, a sense of dread filling the room. The dolls, those mute spectators, looked on, their wooden eyes reflecting the soft moonlight streaming through the window. The ensuing days turned into an agonizing ordeal for Billy. Every night was a repetition of the previous one, his mother's unyielding grip and the quiet sobs that escaped her lips. It became unbearable for the young boy, and in his desperation, he confided in his friends at school. As Billy narrated his nightmarish experiences, a hush fell over his listeners. They stared back, confusion and horror etched on their faces. Miss Bennett, Billy's teacher, happened to overhear this unnerving tale. She immediately approached Billy, her brow creased with worry. "Billy," she asked gently, kneeling to be at his eye level, "is this really happening?" Billy could only nod, his voice choked with fear and uncertainty. This led to immediate action by the school, who contacted local authorities to investigate. The authorities arrived at the Victorian manor, the dolls in silent anticipation of what was about to unfold. Marianne was taken into custody. After a grueling interrogation, she confessed to the strange nocturnal torment she inflicted on Billy. The court found her guilty, considering her mental health, and sentenced her to a mental health facility where she could receive the appropriate care and treatment she so desperately needed. Meanwhile, Billy was taken away from his home and placed into the care of social services. He was quickly adopted by the Thompsons, a warm-hearted couple from the other side of Ashton. They had always desired a child of their own, and saw in Billy a chance to provide the love and care he so deeply needed. Their home was a stark contrast to the puppet-laden manor Billy had known all his life. It was devoid of any puppet, their presence replaced by family photos, cozy furniture, and an inviting warmth that made Billy feel welcome. The transition was a balm to his traumatized young heart. Over time, Billy found himself settling into his new life. His nights were now filled with peace and a gentle silence that helped lull him to sleep. His foster parents were always there for him, offering comforting words, tender goodnight kisses, and most importantly, a loving embrace that was free of the terror he'd known in his mother's grip. Meanwhile, back at the manor, a melancholic silence had descended. The old soldier, the ballerina, and all the other life-size dolls remained in their places, untouched and unanimated. Their glassy eyes seemed to gaze longingly at the empty bed that once cradled a scared little boy. The rooms echoed with an eerie stillness, devoid of Marianne's lilting voice that once brought the dolls to life, and Billy's innocent laughter that filled the house with youthful energy. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more true scary stories.